Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to see you guys. Come on in. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. So let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Today's going to be a little, I won't say solemn, but I'll say it'll be a little lower in the energy level right now. I don't feel my best, but I got to be obedient. So I got to do what God says. And he said, get up and do this live, y'all. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Facebook Live, YouTube, Periscope, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. I want to say welcome because you didn't have to take your time to spend some time with me. Now, this is what I would like to ask you to do. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay, just so that I know that you caught us on the replay. Okay. I'm trying to get this just right. But you know what's in the way. That 1044 Pro box, and it is empty. Who keeps eating all my bars? Hey, Mark Quinta, what's up, man of God? Hey, you guys, listen. So I wanted to come on and talk to you about redemption time. Redemption time. It's redemption time. You know, I told you guys at the beginning of the year that the Lord said that this was the year of redemption, that he was redeeming you, your name, your time, your position, your relationships, your finances, and your purpose, right? And so literally I've been watching him do it all the first month of the year. Like he's been blowing my mind like time after time after time after time, from introducing me to this amazing company, 1044 Pro, to me seeing the transformation in my body, to me seeing just the changes in my finances and my family and my relationships. All of those things have been a part of the change, right, that I've been experiencing. In fact, I woke up this morning, I had a really bad sinus headache. And I could not wait to get to my bar because I was like, listen, I just need to eat some of my bar because I need some energy. I need something to help combat this. I took some medicine and then I just took a couple of bites of my bar. I'm already starting to feel a little more energy. I feel it working. It's working. It's working. And so I wanted to make sure that I took the time to come on and to share with you guys. Now, listen, you guys, you know, I never claim to know everything. I never claim to be perfect at all. That's never my intention, but I am going to be real and I'm going to be authentic with you. So one of the things that I dealt with was, you know, I got a little flack about my message last night from yesterday morning. And I knew I would, right? But see, this is my thing, you guys. Listen, if you got something that you want to say to me, say it to me. Don't say it to the book. Say it to me. So I just, you know, I have an issue with that. I do. I have an issue with that. And the only reason I'm saying something is, believe me, that I have attempted to say something to the person, right? Know that I have extended everything that the Lord tells us to do. I sent a message, I called, like I did all of those things because I believe that we should, in the body of Christ, be able to disagree and disagree respectfully and agree to disagree, and it's okay. But you know what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to allow anyone to make me feel some type of way, right? Or make me feel like I'm somehow less than them because I don't worship dead white men. Listen, it's February 1st. It is the first day of Black History Month. And if you are still worshiping dead white men in 2021, that's a whole nother conversation, right? That's a whole nother conversation. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm talking about this redemption. You see, this has historically been my issue. My issue has always been that I don't toe the party line. I don't do it the way everyone else does it. And while theoretically people may say that they think that's great, in practicality, it's not so great to them. Why? Because I disagree with them. I disagree with some things on a fundamental level, right? And I disagree with how they do what they do, but that's not for me to, that's what they do. Like, this is the thing that trips me out. I don't feel like I have to tell someone else how to do what they're called to do. I don't feel like that's my job, right? I know that God has a job for every single one of us. Remember, we talked about it on yesterday. We are many members, but one body. Each member has a different function, right? And so I can respect that your function is different from mine and not feel like I have to take jabs, throw shots, throw stuff in on the low, on the book. I don't have to do that. I can come to you as an adult, as a grown A woman, and say what I need to say. Now, this is my problem, and I don't know what's going on. And men, maybe y'all can help me. There seems to be this group of men, this generation of men who really, like, I'm questioning them. Like, for real, y'all, I need y'all to help me. I really need y'all to help me, because I've never seen so many men who are unable to have conversations. Like, what is that about? Like, what is that about when you as a man cannot have a conversation? I don't get it, and I don't understand it. And maybe it's just me, but I'm just like, let me bite my bar and bite my tongue. So when I was thinking about today, and I was thinking, God, listen, I want to say something to the people, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to make it this whole bashing session. I don't want that. I don't want my emotions to rule. So God, you're going to have to help me, because you know I have them. I have emotions, and I have feelings, and I have thoughts. Many of which don't need to be shared on Facebook, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I think that this is very applicable. How can God redeem you if there is nothing to redeem you from? If no one says anything about you or does anything to you or lies on you ever, what does he have to redeem you from? If you never mess up, why would you need redemption? Why would Jesus need to come? If we could just do this all on our own and just be perfect, there would be no need for the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, which people like to talk about. You know, he came and he died and he rose on the third day. But why? Why did he do all that? Why did he go through all of the hell that he went through? Why? Because he knew that we couldn't do this on our own, that we couldn't do this on our own and do it in the way that, needs to happen. Somebody asked the question, we hear this all the time. Are women supposed to preach? If men were doing what they were supposed to be doing, maybe women wouldn't have to step up. Now, listen, I'm going to keep it 100 today. Listen, I'm not holding any punches. I've never seen so many weak-backed, jelly-spined, weak-kneed, weak-wristed men in my life. And I don't understand it because it's not who we are. It is not who we are. And that's what baffles me. It baffles me because Black men in particular are not that. That's not who Black men are. Black men are kings. They are strong. They are leaders. They are the ones who go out before us and take the bullets. This is the problem, though. People talk about this is the season of the woman, but do you know why it's the season of the woman? Because so many men have abdicated their responsibilities. And I'm not attacking my brothers. I love my brothers. And there are definitely kings out there who are holding it down, who are standing up, who are doing what they're supposed to do, who are being leaders, and they make decisions. And there are kings out there. And I love my Black kings. There is nothing like a Black man who is standing in his position, who is doing what he is called to do. There is nothing like it in all of the world. There is nothing like it. And when I look back over history and I look at the things that Black men have done, I can honor them and I can reverence them. And when I look at the brothers that I have who are doing what they're supposed to do, I can honor them and I can reverence them. But this is the challenge. I don't understand this, and it hurts my freaking heart that this happens. But there are so many Black men who get caught up in power and position and authority and names and titles and, all of this stuff that does not matter. And then they use it, and they use it as a tool. They use it as a tool to demean other people and make other people be less than them. Why? Because at the core of them, they're insecure. They're insecure, and many of them have mommy issues. They have things that they've not resolved. They have things from past relationships, and I get it. We all do. We all have stuff. But must we attack one another? Must that be the thing that we do? Do we have to do it like that? Can we not go lay on a therapist's couch and let someone walk us through what we're feeling without it being throw up all over other people? Do we have to literally use the bathroom on other people in order for us to feel like we are somebody? That is a problem. That is a problem to me. And this is one of the reasons. See, it's hard for me as a Black woman to trust a man, period, right? But especially a Black man, but just because of stuff like this. Like, why? But what God has done for me is he's put me in a place where he has sent some men in my life for me to be able to trust, for me to be able to say, oh, he got me. Oh, like he's a real one. Like we don't have to agree on everything. I am never going to agree with everything that anyone does or says ever in my life, and you won't either. And I don't expect that. But what I do expect is if we are in relationship, if we are in any kind of relationship, I'm talking about friendship, romantic relationship, just business relationship, whatever it is, I expect us to be able to have a conversation. I expect us to be able to have a conversation. That's what I expect. And when we can't have a conversation, but you got all this to say about me on Facebook, I got a problem, because to me, you are a weak behind man. Period. I can remember the story in the Bible where the prophet goes to David and he begins to tell David a story. So he's telling David the story, and he's telling David about this man who has all these sheep, and then this other man who only had one sheep. And the man that had all the sheep wanted the one sheep that y'all know sheep is plural and singular. Listen, that the other man had. And so he took the sheep away from that man, and David said, no, kill him. That's horrible. So often we can look at other people and we can see what they did, right? But when it's in our backyard and when it's us, we struggle with it, okay? So it's easy to look at someone else and what they did and say, oh, he's weak. But then you do the same thing. What is that saying? You all, we don't have to be perfect and we don't have to agree on everything, but God has come to redeem us. Listen, and the redemption is real. It's real. I know me. I know that I can't afford to get caught up in battles, and I refuse to get caught up in battles with people over stuff that we disagree on. I'm not doing it. So I don't argue the point. Are women supposed to preach? We have to preach because the gospel is going to be declared. Even if a rock has to declare it, the gospel is going to be declared, right? So God is going to use whosoever he chooses to use. And if you don't think that women should preach, then you preach. Do what you're supposed to do. Just do your part. Like, we don't have to attack each other. We don't even have to agree. But the redemption of God is real. And the application of God's word in today's time for today's people and today's situation is real. And we don't have to agree on how that's applied. We don't. But because we don't agree, right, doesn't mean that we got to engage in these attacks. What is that? Because I promise you, if we're disagreeing on something, there are probably some things that I'm thinking too. Just know that. But I choose not to say them. Why? Everything you think doesn't have to be said. Everything you feel doesn't have to be articulated, right? We don't have to do that. And I would pray that the body of Christ would grow in greater maturity, right? That would be my prayer, that we would be able to operate in a level of maturity where we can agree to disagree without it being attacks or without it being in shade or without all this little slick stuff. Like, I don't have time. I don't have time. You know what? This redemption is real, and what God is doing in my life is amazing. And so I'm busy doing what God has called me to do, and that's setting the captives free. And you may be busy doing what you're called to do, and that may be setting some different captives free. But listen, your captives are not my captives, and my captives are not yours. So you deal with your folks, and I'll deal with mine. You know what your folks need. I know what my folks need, right? And God doesn't use us the same way, but it doesn't mean that God isn't using both of us simultaneously to reach a different group of people. And that's where we miss it. That's where we miss it. So I have reconciled myself to the fact that the redemption process is going to be ongoing because God is continually going to need to redeem me, my name, me, my position, my timing, my time, like all of the things, like there are constant attacks. And those attacks, while they may not be meant as an attack, it may not be intended to be an attack, it is essentially that, right? I know for me, and I'm just talking about me right now, okay? I know for me, I don't call everybody friend, but if I call you friend, know that I mean it. And our friendship may go through changes, it may go through evolutions, but doesn't mean that I'm not your friend, right? It just means that things are shifting, and the shift is often uncomfortable. But I'm thankful for every shift that God has brought in my life, and you should be too. The shift positions you to be able to do what God has called you to do. I just want to share with you guys, and this is not to brag, this is just to tell you what God is doing in this season. I may not have all the money that I want or even all the money that I need. But what I have done is I've positioned myself for God to provide vehicles for that to manifest. Now, see, that's the key. Positioning is the key, right? I told you that God is going to redeem our position, right? Many of you may have been in the back. Everything you do, you're in the back. You're the last one to get on and you never really get to take full advantage of it, right? Well, what God is doing is he's taking those from the back and he's moving them to the front. And literally that's what he's done with me. You know, with my new partnership with 1044 Pro, it's resulted in me not being at the back of a company, but at the front of a company leading, right? Doing things that in a very short period of time that often take years for people to be able to do. But God's hand is on me. He's moving. There's a blessed wind that's blowing on my back and it is changing things for me. And I'm telling you all this because the same wind that's at my back can be at your back. Listen, it's a matter of you positioning yourself. It's a matter of you doing what God has told you to do and not allowing the distractions to distract you and take you off course. I easily could have gotten distracted. And I'm not going to say that the whole thing didn't hurt me or, you know, I haven't felt some type of way or I haven't felt pain. I have. But let me tell you about me. Listen, one of the things that Facebook has definitely gotten right on all the little things that I do is that it always says that, you know, you rise from the ashes like a phoenix, or nothing keeps you down, or, you know, you love hard, but you're willing to go to battle, you're willing to go to war. And that's absolutely the truth. That is me. Like, I'm not scared. And that's my problem with some men. Listen, I need you to help me understand. How do I have more courage than you? How? I don't get that. You see, I'm going to tell you something about women. When men talk about women not submitting, it's not that most women just don't want to submit. That's not it. It's that many times what you've provided has not been worth submitting to. And I'm not throwing shade, y'all. I'm telling y'all. I don't know how else to say this. Like, literally, I just want to have men in my life that I can just say, oh, that brother's bad. And I do. And I love that. And I love them. And I love that they are the leaders that they are. I love that there are men in my life that I can rock with. And I know they're rock solid. I love that. But there are also those who buckle under pressures. Everybody doesn't handle pressure the same. Everybody doesn't handle pressure well. I was built under pressure. So I handle pressure well, you know, because I've been built under pressure. My life has been pressure. You know, it hasn't been easy for me. You know, the poem, life hasn't been a crystal stairs. Like, that's my life. That's my life, for real, for real. Growing up in a 3-room house with no indoor plumbing. I'm a first-generation college graduate. I didn't get this off the back of my siblings. I'm the first one in my family to pledge a sorority. No one could tell me about the process. I didn't have anyone in my family to grandfather me in or to give me extra perks. Like, I've always been a trailblazer. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. This is what I do. I blaze trails. So yes, today is the first day of Black History Month, and I want to challenge you to make some history. You make the history. Stop looking at the past and celebrating everybody else, but not doing anything in the present to make history. Create history. Create it. Yes, we honor the past. We honor the legacy of those who have gone before us, those who have paved the way, but they paved the way for a reason. They paved the way so that we could walk through. They paved the way so that we could do more. They paved the way so that we could do it faster. They paved the way so that we wouldn't have to go through all of that, and then we still sit back, fall back, and we get distracted. No, not so. Not so. First day of Black History Month, although Black history is all year long for me, but as we walk into the formal celebration of it, I just want to do this. I just want to do this. I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate a man who, though not always popular with everyone, was powerful and made an impact. We have the people that we always hear about, and we hear about him to an extent. I want to talk about Marcus Garvey. And you guys may say, why Marcus Garvey? Well, listen, this man was multi-talented and multifaceted. He had a vision. He had a vision, and he wasn't afraid to articulate it, and he wasn't afraid to go to battle for it. If you don't know anything about him, he is a Jamaican political activist. He was a publisher, a journalist, an entrepreneur, and an orator. He was the founder and first president general of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. And he declared himself, y'all hear me? I'm going to hear what I tell you. He declared himself provisional president of Africa. He's ideologically a Black nationalist and a Pan-Africanist. His ideas came to be known as Garveyism. Listen, he didn't grow up rich, but he had a little money, came from a family with a little money in Jamaica, and had an opportunity to be exposed to different countries and the plight and the experiences of African descended people in those countries. In 1916, he moved to the United States and established the UNIA branch in New York City's Harlem district, emphasizing unity between Africans and the African diaspora. Listen, this man understood that it was about creating unity, right? And that people, African descended people all over the world, are connected. That's why it's called Pan-Africanism. Pan-African means it spans the globe for African descended people. Now, am I saying this to make anyone else feel less than anything? Absolutely not. I'm saying this because today I want to celebrate a Black man who is a king. He was a king. He was a leader. He was unafraid to take a stance, even if it wasn't popular. He was not afraid to create a vision. He was not afraid to declare himself to be the provisional president of Africa. And we know Africa's a whole continent. So how's Africa going to have a president, right? He said, listen, I'm the president of Africa, okay? I love the fact that he wasn't afraid. And today I want to challenge my brothers to step up in your manness. Don't just be a male, be a man. Like everyone who was born with male genitalia is a male, but not every male with male genitalia is a man. There's a difference. Be a man, be a leader. We want to celebrate you. We want to follow you. We want to submit to you. We want to exhort you. We want to declare you to be the kings that you are. And we are declaring it. We just need more of you to step into it. And I'm not saying that they don't exist, y'all. I'm telling y'all they do. There are kings out there, and I absolutely love them. So let's celebrate the kings today. Today, on the first day of Black history, I'm celebrating my brothers. I'm celebrating those Black men who are leaders and who are kings, who are lords over their castle, but they don't lord it over those in the castle, who are able to be a leader and create change in the world. I celebrate you and I salute you, my brothers. Know that this queen is here, ready to celebrate you, ready to support you, ready to lift you up on every hand, because you deserve it. So keep being the king that you are. Keep leading, keep fathering, keep being a champion for the voiceless. You keep doing that, right? And let it show up in every area of your life. Now, don't let it show up in some, but just not showing up in others. Let it show up in every area of your life, because we want to celebrate you in every area of your life. You guys, listen, know this. Know that I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing day. And remember, don't let history make you. You make history. Be blessed. Mwah.